When Mark's pregnant wife, Emily, was cornered and roughed up by two HOA enforcers, he knew this wasn't just a petty neighborhood spat. It was a violation no one could ignore. These men weren't cops, but they strutted around with the swagger of untouchable kings, cloaked in fake badges and inflated community rules. What they didn't know was that Emily's husband was a Marine, and he wasn't about to let this slide. Buckle up for a suburban showdown that spiraled into chaos, where justice struck harder than anyone expected. Mark Thompson had faced danger in war zones, but he thought he'd left that life behind. When he and Emily moved into Willow Creek, a pristine Georgia subdivision, it seemed like the perfect place to start over. Neat rows of houses, manicured lawns, kids playing under oak trees, it was straight out of a real estate ad. Emily, 7 months pregnant, craved a haven for their growing family. But beneath the polished surface, something felt off. The neighborhood was too perfect, too controlled, like a stage set waiting for trouble. Trouble came fast. On their second day, a neon yellow notice was slapped on their door. Violation. Unauthorized porch item. Stroller must be hidden. Mark stared at the folded stroller by their steps. They hadn't even unpacked. Emily chuckled. Welcome to suburbia. But the notices kept coming. One for improper laundry, when Emily hung baby clothes on their balcony. Another for a non-approved sign, it's a girl card on their mailbox. Each notice was cold, formal, signed by the Willow Creek HOA, with a warning. Fines may follow. Mark brushed it off as bureaucratic nonsense, but Emily grew uneasy. Her evening walks were shortened. She glanced over her shoulder while watering their flowers. It feels like we're being watched, she whispered one night. Mark noticed it too, the white SUV with tinted windows creeping down the street every evening, marked only with a small HOA security badge. The neighborhood's calm felt heavy, like a held breath. Someone was always listening. It exploded on a quiet Tuesday. Emily, needing air, strolled to an abandoned train platform nearby, a spot she loved for its solitude. She never made it back unscathed. When Mark got home at 6 p.m., groceries in one hand, a baby blanket in the other, he found Emily crumpled by the door, eyes red, a cold pack on her wrist. Her voice shook. They followed me. The HOA guys. She recounted it in fragments. 2 men from the SUV cornered her at the platform. They wore black shirts with HOA security patches, no names, just radios and arrogance. They accused her of trespassing, of tarnishing the community's image. When she explained she was just walking, one sneered. You're the violation house. You don't belong. Then he lunged, grabbing her arm. Emily stumbled, her elbows scraping the pavement. As she struggled up, the other man leaned in and hissed. 20 years ago, we'd have tied you to the tracks to teach you a lesson. Mark's blood boiled. His Marine training kicked in, stay calm, assess, act. But this was different. This was his wife, his unborn daughter. He didn't shout or break anything. He just looked at Emily, then past her, and something snapped into place. This wasn't a dispute. It was war. He didn't sleep. While Emily rested, Mark plotted. By dawn, he and Emily were at the police station. Emily gave her statement, voice steady despite the tremor. The officer, a tired deputy with a worn badge, listened, typed, then shrugged. HOA's not our jurisdiction. They've got community authority. You signed the contract. Mark's jaw tightened. So they can touch my wife, and you do nothing? The deputy sighed. No video, no witnesses. It's your word against theirs. Mark stared, not angry, yet, but with the cold clarity of a man realizing the system was broken. Emily's hands shook in her lap. The woman who'd endured his deployments alone now looked fragile. They left in silence, the sun mocking them with its brightness. In the car, Mark's mind settled on one truth: if the law wouldn't act, he would. That night, Mark turned investigator. He remembered a security camera at the train platform, barely noticeable, part of a city safety program. Using skills from his service days, he accessed the county's public surveillance feed. He scrolled to the time Emily was there. There they were, two men stepping from the SUV. One crossed his arms, the other approached Emily. The footage was grainy but damning, a clear grab, a stumble, a threat. 35 seconds of truth. Mark clipped the video and uploaded it anonymously to a local community page. His caption was simple. "This is what Willow Creek HOA security did to my pregnant wife. Is this protection?" No drama, no embellishment. He hit post and waited, expecting a few comments, maybe a neighbor's nod. He got a wildfire. By midnight, the video had 400,000 views. By morning, 1.3 million. Notifications flooded Mark's phone, strangers, neighbors, all sharing the clip across forums, Facebook, email threads. Residents poured out stories, fines for wheelchair ramps, threats over medical equipment, harassment for unapproved flowers. The HOA's reign of fear unraveled. People weren't just angry, they were done. The internet dug deeper. A forum thread. "Who are these men?" sparked a manhunt. Photos from HOA meetings and LinkedIn profiles surfaced. The men were identified. No law enforcement credentials, just a former mall guard with a history of aggression and another with a dropped assault charge from a decade ago. The taller man was fired by evening, and the other vanished. The HOA's website posted a weak apology. "We regret any distress." Too late. The community wanted blood. Mark didn't stop. He filed a class action lawsuit, backed by 11 residents' stories. A widow fined for memorial flowers, a man cited for a medical device. His old Marine buddy, Laura Hayes, a civil rights lawyer, took the case pro bono. "This is bigger than a lawsuit," she said. "It's a reckoning." The city council, pressured by media and outrage, launched an audit of the HOA's finances and contracts. The neighborhood shifted. HOA signs disappeared from lawns. Neighbors talked openly, fear gone. The man who grabbed Emily was arrested quietly on a Wednesday. Charged with third-degree assault and impersonating an officer, he faced real consequences. Emily testified remotely, her voice steady in the courtroom. "I walked to feel safe," she said. "Instead, I was treated like a criminal. I wondered if I'd make it home." The judge listened. The charges stuck. A trial loomed. The storm faded. The video stopped trending, reporters moved on, but Willow Creek was transformed. Silence gave way to community. Mark and Emily stayed, not for fame, but for home. When podcasts and producers called, Mark declined. "I'm not a hero," he told neighbors who thanked him. "I'm a husband." That weekend, Mark painted the nursery. The color, soft willow, was Emily's choice. They worked in quiet harmony, her hand on her belly, his on the brush. She smiled from the doorway, a look that said they'd survived. As the sun set, Mark sat by the window, the house calm. Peace, real peace, settled in. He'd fought for his family, not with fists but with truth. And he'd won. What do you think? Was Mark's fight justified, or did he go too far? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's debate. Where's the line between justice and revenge? Smash that like button, share this story, and subscribe for more real-life dramas that'll keep you hooked.